TNA. Yesterday we did take a look at the insights from URP. We also have those ones from the New Fort Kenya Party, NFK. We will be bringing you those details a bit later on here on the broadcast. Let's now go back to our top story here in Nairobi, where the revelations of the Sports Cabinet Secretary and the embattled National Olympic Committee, two sides that spent the day blaming each other for the problems the Kenyan team faced in the Rio Olympics. The National Olympics Committee members say they were hounded and detained for nothing over the kits and the accommodation issues of the team, yet they did everything by the book. The NOCK officials hinted that the kits found in their offices after they were arrested were not necessarily those that were meant for the Kenyan athletes that went to Brazil.
After disbanding National Olympics Committee of Kenya, Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Culture and the Arts Dr. Hassan Wario has again distanced himself from the mess that rocked the Kenyan team to the Rio Olympic Games, insisting that the blame squarely lies with the National Olympics Committee. While responding to issues raised by the Labour and Social Welfare Committee, Wario stressed that it was the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, NOCK, through its top officials that shortchanged the athletes during the Games.
The kind of vision we have for the team that will manage our National Olympic Committee. And I think the letter which came was encouraging, and they even offered their own space in Geneva as a space for dialogue. And we are for dialogue. We are for discussing the way out so that the Kenyan athletes and men and women will have a body that will take care of and manage their issues in a better way.
The Sports Cabinet Secretary is adamant that his position to disband NOCK was called for, and at no time will his ministry change its stand, even if it means that the Kenya is on the verge of being in the bad books with IOC, something that not all members of the House took it lightly.
I was imagining, Mr. Chair, that even before disbanding NOCK, the first thing the minister should have done, the CS should have done, was to step aside. Immediately he landed on the floor, or immediately landed at the airport. He should have resigned, should have stepped aside, because I don't think he's capable of putting in place the reforms he's talking about.
There are ways of disbanding NOCK or sports federations as laid down by procedures as outlined in the Sports Act 2013, clause 52, 53, 54. Why are you in a hurry to disband NOCK?
As a country, we need to take sports seriously. I'm saying it because the challenges that what we are talking right now are the same challenges that I faced myself when I was an athlete.
The National Olympics Committee of Kenya officials also had a date with the David Were Labour and Social Welfare Committee, and the chief de mission, who has been widely mentioned in regard to the Rio fiasco, gave a detailed account on how money was spent, with new details emerging on how a cruise ship and a room worth 2.1 million Kenyan shilling was paid for President Uhuru Kenyatta, who never went to Rio.
I know is one of the accommodation that was not used kabisa was a cruise ship. It was never used. Whereas we are paid $605 for 18 days per room times 2 rooms.
Already the Cabinet Secretary has constituted a probe team led by Strathmore University lecturer Paul Ochieng to look into the Rio mess and hand in a report by September 30th on their findings. The National Executive Committee is also expected to respond to some of the issues raised on Wednesday at 2 p.m.